Let me get affirmative responses. Ellie, are you set?
Yes, I am set.
Yo, are you set?
Yes.
Okay,
Button.
press the button. Press the button.
Alvin?
I'm working.
Press that button. The Jawa alone.
Is Alvin the Jawa? They do
I
talk.
mean,
Those little
Alvin.
high pitched.
yeah.
The button's pressed.
The button has been pressed.
I will interrupt the one bit in order to do the intro bit, which is hi. This is Beth. Welcome to GURPS Wars, a homebrew GURPS Star Wars game, and its logistics trio with Crash and Ellie and EO. And what happened last time?
We took a tour.
You did. Someone wanted to show you all of his cool stuff.
We saw aliens.
Well, I mean,
And-
technically.
Well, we saw a snake. We saw some birds. We saw some strange looking creatures that looked like
Centipede things.
Yeah, centipede crossed with crabs. Like eventually all things become crabs, including millipedes.
Pelor slugs.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's. I cannot find a
facehuggers.
gif of those.
Oh. And what?
And facehuggers.
They were baby Pelor slugs that have been edited. So that they'll eat fruit.
They are. I recognize the art style. Those are facehuggers.
Maybe a little.
And Ran did his best to not touch anything. Possibly levitated the entire time with telekinesis self. Okay, not technically levitation, but still.
He tried. Yeah,
He
so
tried his
Pelor
best.
slug. Isn't that a Pelor slug? Look at that Pelor slug that Dio found a picture of.
And we had a delightful conversation with the Lord, who is probably the grandfather of one of the orphans that we rescued in a previous arc. He's a professional at his job. One could argue that he's probiotic. Biotic pro.
He is a delightful individual in that he is a somewhat scattered scientist type, etc. The only one in his office during the holidays, and also he apparently has just ridiculous amounts of game.
He did say that he had a lot of children, some of whom nobody acknowledged because he was not the one who was married to their mother at the time.
Yes, and the mothers in question would come to him because their husbands were not paying attention to them. And considering how he is in the office alone during the holiday season, how neglected were these people? Anyway,
I mean,
Rand tried not to pay attention to that conversation while going over the taxes, which seemed to be on the up and up.
Yep. Well,
There
you
was
did put
mention
him
of
on as...
There was also
You go.
mention of a thing, like an errand being sent to, I believe it was a dead-end street on the intergalactic highway.
black space. Something about an errand in black space where the
what I said.
hyperlanes don't quite go. Yeah, I mean, it might not be even on a hyperlane. It might be where you have to sort of stop in the middle of a hyperlane and then make a right angle turn and putter for a day or two or something. But yes, he muttered something about that his Darth had asked him to do, but he didn't really have he couldn't figure out any way to draft you kids into doing it for him. So well, he can't tell you anything more. He doesn't want to do the thing. And then because you had only put him on the list as an excuse to talk to him, since you hadn't found any horrible things to do, you all left the office. So,
We could check the list twice.
well, do you want to know your list of people? Do you want it sorted by alphabetical or by sphere? You have
Sphere.
7 other names by sphere. Alphabetical by sphere?
Alphabetical by
Sure.
title.
No.
Alphabetical by color.
No. What?
Alphabetical by flavor of moss.
I didn't realize that there were any Elena in the city.
Ran is partial to, no, Ran's not going to fight for this, but Ran is partial to changing the order that the various people on the list are sorted by every single time they get a new name off the list, just so that there is some variety. So they're not doing all the lords whose names begin with A, making it easier for Rand to get the name wrong. Or, oh, we're investigating these 3 Darths in a row.
I'm missing somebody. Oh, there they are.
There's only so many
I
times
don't
that a
even
Darth
want
can...
to.
Hmm?
I was gonna say I don't want to investigate even one Darth in a row.
There's
You
your
would think
list.
Darth Shardanak would handle the Darths, so we wouldn't
You would
have
There's a
think
to.
that. What?
mystery Darth on that list.
Come on. There.
When we went to the Swamp World, was that mysteries or...
Mysteries. There we go.
So, for the record, Korvac, Defense Lord. Gralkin Iron Fist, Defense Lord. Lord Harkus, Laws and Justice. Oh, that's going to be a fun conversation. Lord Vorkath Blacksteel, Technology Darth.
Oops. Actually, yes, that should be. He doesn't get a lord. He gets a Darth.
Technology Darth. The fact that a Technology Darth is on our list means that in at least one way they are bad at their job, possibly more than one way.
What kind of a name is Vorkath Blacksteel? Seriously.
Keep going. Keep going. You're just.
I'm sorry. EO asked a question, and I'm trying hard to not just say they were named by somebody who's 10 and has a lot of fan fiction. You go into their room and you just see like variations of Sonic the Hedgehog. They're all original characters you cannot steal. But you can tell they're original. Their pupils are 2 different colors. Also, I'm trying to look at this new name for the mystery
Zygel.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Zhaijul. Let's go back to the arc we're doing that has Zorak. You've all gotten used to my mispronunciation of that one. Ravaxa Shadow Cleaver, Offense Lord, and Daisha, Offense Lord. I know it's probably supposed to be pronounced offense. They'd probably take offense if I pronounced it offense.
They might find it offensive, yes.
Well, that is their job. And Ellie's been typing for some time now.
Oh, and you missed Drekthar. Drekthar's up at the top there above Korvac.
Oh, yes, I did miss Drekthar. How could I miss Drekthar?
Mm-hmm.
How could anyone miss Drekthar? Drekthar burst through the door. There's canned applause. Brought to you by Space Ham, otherwise called Spam.
I mean, I suppose it kind of is.
That's terrible holomails.
I just got a hollow mail about the warranty expiring on my droid.
I mean, that droid had its warranty expire a long time. Yeah.
Rand looks over at his droid, who is currently holding her arm with the other arm. Oh, it fell off again, did it?
Yes, my lord.
Well, bring it here, bring it here.
Yes, my lord. You have the quirky droid, and Tuxa has a couple of, I'm not even going to say reformed criminals from a Hutt world who are busy trying to do catch up on all the schooling that they've missed in the past 2 decades.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
All right, let's read this Shaggy Dog story.
Oh.
Someone else could read it out loud. I'm not reading it out loud.
A long time ago, Sith did their accounting using wooden sticks, a precursor to cred sticks. The sticks they used were from a species of tree that branched often, so any given stick would have had a number of branches sprouting from it that needed to be cut off. When a stick credit was used, the outermost remaining layer was peeled off the stick, using primitive lightsabers since the wood was very, very hard. Some Sith, wanting to falsify their accounting, faked these sticks using carved layered metamorphic rock. Because of the hardness of the wood, this was often only discovered when the unsuspecting recipient tried to use the stick and the outermost layer flaked rather than peeled off, by which point the offending Sith was long gone. So, to this day, Sith accountants in the sphere of logistics once a year are pledged to review the accounts of all the Sith in the Empire. They're given a set of Sith to review, which they typically make into a checklist, and sent in pairs or trios in order to have another set of eyes on their work. They're making a list and checking it twice. And for historical reasons, they're going to find out who's naughty or nice, spelled Gneiss.
Knotty or Gneiss.
Ellie
I love
is a
you, but
gem of
slash
treasure.
fish.
Meanwhile, I'm just imagining Rand having a conversation with either of the other party members, and somebody overhears him talking about, yes, I know that she's a big investment, but I can fix her. But he's not talking about a romantic occasion. He's talking about his droid.
I'll have to make you put points in mechanic droids someday.
I refuse.
Right. You'll make Sen do it.
This cannon is made of glass. And I've been very transparent about that.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be one of those sessions.
I know, I'm a pain.
It's the puns. It's all the puns. I don't think you're bred. Ill-bred, I suppose.
Or French.
Ceci n'est pas une pipe.
Anyway.
Doesn't
Sorry.
matter if it's a pipe or not, we're supposed to fix it.
Yes. Antuxa. Does Antuxa have anything to say for herself?
No.
Okay.
4 paragraphs of a glorious story later, and Tuxa has nothing to say. Yes.
Fair. You have a list of 5 lords and 2 Darths, no partridges, no pear trees, hopefully.
Space partridges.
Let me clarify that. Antuxa knows very badly Antuxa knows what she very badly wants to do. And she knows that her personality is such that if she insists on it, she can probably get the others to go along with it. But it's also probably not a great idea. So she is holding her tongue.
And Tuxa's visibly remaining silent.
Also, she knows Rand's excited for the accounting.
And yet I refuse to level up my bureaucracy skill. Glass cannon. What do I roll for sense motive?
Detect lies would be a frequent one. Psychology.
I feel like detect lies would not be appropriate in this case because I want to roll to see if Rand is picking up what Antuxa is not putting down.
We do have that empathic vibes thing, which is
You
IQ
have
minus
empathic
3.
vibes? Yep. I feel like that's a reasonable one to roll.
Nope. Rand is oblivious. Rand is looking at his data pad and sorting by rank, then sorting by name, sorting by distance to location, sorting by
Distance to location, just as a note, the 2 offense lords appear to be at the same location, which is listed as a couple, actually a suite, A and B, in a rehab center that is run by the Ministry of Medicine, which is under the sphere of biotics.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have a mental image of why they'd be there, and I don't know if it's better or worse if I am correct.
Is the concern that they fought each other?
Did I use the word concern? The player is here for this content. So, the 2 offense lords are pretty much in the same location. Shall we do a twofer?
Certainly. That sounds like a good idea.
Dear Force. 2 benched office lords who are behind on their taxes. What the
That
griff?
might be why they're behind on their taxes.
Yeah, that's probably why they're behind on their taxes, but still, can you imagine anything more miserable than a benched office lord? Offense lord,
Yes.
not office.
Yes.
I
I
Yes.
like Office Lord.
No, that was the guy we just talked to.
Wouldn't that be somebody in logistics if they're an office lord?
That's also a lot of them. Yeah. Yeah,
And
no, that's also your master. He's an office lord.
cut to Rand's master going, "Now you shall face the wrath of this fully armed and operational stapler." Cut
Fully
back to Rand.
armed and operational communications station.
Yes, and he was stapling papers over there. Well, space staples. Staples. Okay, so we are on our way to suites A and B of a rehab building.
Okay, give me just a moment because I actually, for my amused sins, have sheets for everybody because why not? I do not have good art for everybody because that did not, I didn't have enough time. I was spending it doing other things. So some of them will have very iffy little icons and some of them will actually have decent artwork. I do not have any maps. I'm sorry. It's a pity. The rehab building is actually not far from where you currently are because you're sort of in the medical district. It's kind of down a bit, so there's sunlight. What's sunlight? It's not like Drumacas has much sunlight anyway. It's usually raining, cloudy, or lightning. And lightning hates you in particular, and you in particular. Lightning hates everyone in particular. You can waive your credentials at the front desk. This is a rehab facility. There's a lot of people in it. You had a war, what, about a year or something ago? It was when it ended. Is that about right? Bit over a year. So there's still people who are in rehab. It's some people just don't adapt their prosthetics very well. You go to the Sith wing, find the number, you knock on the door. A droid answers. The droid, it should be noted, is one of those three-legged military droids. It built like a small tank.
Oh
I'm sure you can
boy,
find a
this is going to
picture.
be a disaster.
Missed it by
Determine
that much.
And that much is 1. No force sense for you. The droid goes, "Are you at the right room, sirs?"
We're here on behalf of logistics. This
Is that
seems to
so?
be the right room.
I will consult with my master. It slides the door closed.
Ugh, fine. Great.
How long are you people going to wait before you pound on the door? Just to know whether it opens before you do that or not.
Rand's willing to wait up to 5 minutes doing additional paperwork to prep for the other people we have to see. This is only our second stop, so there's plenty of prep work to do.
It does take a bit longer than 5 minutes.
Shall we knock again?
Right, I'm gonna try to open the door.
By all means.
Is it locked?
It's got a standard palm lock. You put your palm on it and it will open if you are one of the people who's allowed to be there.
One
Mechanical.
moment.
You have activated your mechanical aptitude. You have made your LOPS security by 9. You can coax the door into unlocking.
That's a good little palm lock. You did a good job. We're supposed to be in here.
Sen uses Sith mind tricks on palm lock. They are super effective.
Yeah, basically.
Now, where's that droid we're looking for?
The door slides open, and there is I'm sorry, one of the icons is better than the other. There are 2 people in the room beyond who I will simply put there with their little icons because I might need to roll on them. One of them is in an extremely, it's a hover chair, but it's got an astromech on the back that is apparently, peering out in front so that it can drive, maybe. And the
It's a
other one
chopped up
is
X-Wing.
it's it looks like a regular hover chair. It's not that much bigger than a regular one, but it has an astromech. And one of them is sitting in that, and the other one is actually leaning on the arm of the warbot, the combat droid, who answered the door as they walk into the room. You can see the icons. The one sitting in the hover chair is pale, glowing gold eyes, black hair, wearing some, red, comfortable looking red robes. The one leaning on the droid is dark skinned, has neon red hair, and, just plain brown eyes, and is wearing a somewhat darker set of robes, still in the red spectrum.
Lord
They
Ravax,
both.
Daisha,
Yes,
we're
yes.
here from the sphere of logistics to ask some questions about your accounting this year.
The one in the wheelchair says, Daisha, did your droid forget to lock the door until we were ready? Daisha, the one with the neon hair, apparently, sort of looks at the droid with this sort of sad expression.
To be fair, they're in offense, not defense.
And Tuxa is altering her gait to lean on her cane more.
And Tuxa, in her white and beaded outfit with, yes. And Tuxa is making an acting roll by 4.
It's not a fantastic roll, but it gets the job done.
I made it by 4 is usually a perfectly cromulent, even good thing. It's just that some people are throwing the bell curve off with their high skills.
I'm also thinking about contests against it.
True. Just in case, sure. Let's. Oh, that's sad. Grimly offensive side eye. They both sigh.
I put
The one in
tally
the
mark
wheelchair
on my data pad. I'm just keeping track of how often we get, a sigh, I'm certain I filed it, the one with the most tally marks is don't you know who I am? Occasionally the sighs outnumber it, but by the end of tax week, don't you know who I am is always in the lead.
The one in the wheelchair, presumably Ravaxa, by process of she called the other one Daisha, says, have a seat then. I don't know what would be wrong with the taxes, except it would be my luck that something was wrong with the tax. Oh.
I'm sure we can find a way to work it out. Now, let's see. Ran, you have the books, right?
Right here. But the question is, can I pass my perception roll to find my bureaucracy roll?
I mean, it's on the list. It's a very single line. Yeah. Admin is also right, but
wow.
A 4. I think a 4 is going to make all of these.
Made it by 4, not rolled a 4.
Oh, so not rolled a 4. All right, made it by 4.
2 1s and a 6.
The 8 will make just about every skill that's even on your sheet, I think. So, yeah.
It's the skills that aren't on my sheet where that would be a horrible failure.
It might not, actually. A number of skills would probably default to an 8 or thereabouts. The number wouldn't. It's true.
In any case, I go through their books.
You have the list. Ravax's taxes are entirely unpaid, unfiled, and there's nothing there. Nothing was filed. Daisha's taxes, you made that by 4. It looks like someone was using this one weird trick logistics hates. No, you're not spooks. You're not spacebook spooks.
No,
that's a sphere.
Yeah,
it's sphere of intelligence.
Well, it's spacebook.
It looks
spooks. not spooks.
Daisha says, so I can't imagine why there'd be anything wrong with the taxes. We haven't been earning a great deal while we've been in rehab.
Well, according to this, you've made several investments that have been paying dividends recently. You do need to file for that as well. The businesses that you invested in filed on their end, as you can see on this table here, subsection 7, column 3, row 8. This number should be the same as this number here on your form, and that appears to be... How is it hastily scribbled out? This is a data pad.
I don't, but I'm sure that the subsection 3 on the investment instructions said that I don't have to file for this one because the amount was under 500 credits.
Oh, yes, that was a thing last year. This year, it's not so much per investment, it's all of the different investments to a specific group are all counted together, and that does take you over the number.
Blink. I see.
Yes, that change was not, in my opinion, and you're not hearing this from me, mind you, broadcast as widely as I would have preferred. That has caused some headaches for more than one individual. Fortunately, we're here and we can clear this up. We're just going to need to change some of these numbers around. There will need to, of course, be a transfer of funds to logistics for this. But it looks like we should be able to, assuming you've got the funds ready to go.
I don't have the funds ready to go.
I was going to say before any additional fines are incurred. This does prevent me from saying that last part, however.
You must understand, upkeep and maintenance on my support droid is a little bit expensive. He's kind of a prototype. I'm sure you understand about prototypes.
I certainly understand about droid maintenance, let me assure you. Well, especially in this case, those are deductible, and I see your deductions are already on file. Wonderful. And have already been accounted for. Some of them twice. This one here 5 times.
That's because there's a lot of maintenance that has to be done.
Oh, certainly.
And sometimes, if the parts aren't perfectly and true, you have to buy them 5 times to get one that actually works.
Yes.
And then you have
I am noticing that these are all the same purchase number, though. Same invoice
I don't
number.
understand.
Same part number.
That must be an error. It is probably an error on technology's part. I had to call for a repair person after all, since, well,
we can
the
certainly clear
biotics
this
poison makes it...
We could certainly clear this up. I assume you have the records for that, so we can just make sure any duplicates are accounted for as separate things. You did keep the receipts.
Wait, what's that about biotics poison, my lord?
It's why I'm in rehab. Someone decided that it would be a lovely idea to target everyone in a certain area with an airborne toxin.
Oh, no.
I look over at Sen and say, this is why I had the PPE on me when we were going to biotics.
And Tuxa has made a professional skill logistics by 2.
Thank goodness Rand was about out of social grace.
And Tuxa?
Yes, the bureaucrat is doing the people person thing, and the people person thing is rolling bureaucracy.
And what are you rolling for your bureaucracy?
I'm trying to think of words.
Okay.
You poor thing. That must be terrible. Personally, I was only in a train wreck, and that was due to a hut. So...
At least you can kill a hut.
That's true.
I wish.
It would be difficult to kill all of biotics.
I don't
And
need all of
counterproductive.
biotics. I just need the bun who released their pretty pet toxin over my position while I was working on a fighting withdrawal.
Would have been much more convenient to release the hut over top of the withdrawal position.
Yes.
I do not say that. That's not in character.
Do you happen to know who it was?
If I knew who it was, I'd be sending my droid to fetch them for me.
Ah.
They're biotics. They can't possibly go against a droid once I've got all of his combat mods back.
Well, tell me, this fighting withdrawal, you were attached to a military unit?
They got out. I was guarding the rear.
Oh, yes. No, of course. I'm just making sure you were officially attached to a military unit.
Of course. It was my unit. I'm offense. We get units, unless we're assassins.
And the member of biotics was not a member of your unit. You understand, I'm in logistics.
No.
I have to cross all of my T's.
Ugh. No, the biotics one was not part of my unit. The biotics one was his own unit, or her own unit, or their own unit.
All right.
Running around causing problems.
Unsanctioned use of any sort of hostile attack on friendly military forces is, well, let's just say, whoever it is in biotics, they're financially responsible for your recovery.
I presume the Sphere has, in fact, been paying at least some of the rehab, or Offense is paying the rehab. They haven't been giving me a bill for that part. They just keep complaining that my droid is too big. They don't understand. My droid is the one who carried me out.
Well,
I
yes,
cannot
but
possibly.
your droid is I'm not supposed to ask this question, but your droid is a certified support droid.
Well, I certify that Mex is my support droid.
That's on fire.
Is someone going to argue with me?
Well, I imagine if they do, they'll be shot quite a few times.
Precisely. By my droid.
Which is why someone might do it from a distance using, say, tax records. Which gets us involved, and you see why we're here. Anyway, the point is, because you were injured by another sphere, as part of your duty attached to an active military unit, regardless of whether or not you were withdrawing, you're entitled to certain tax benefits. Among them is that a certified support droid can be fully deducted rather than partially, and that there are certain additional credits that must be applied while you are in rehab that are, of course, in this case, paid by biotics, which don't seem to be on file in your tax records. We'll make some amendments and see what we can do.
Oh.
Does this form look familiar to you? And I pull over a form. Hopefully I'm able to pull up this form. I rolled.
You made it by 5.
Logistics bureaucracy. Yeah, hopefully by 5 was enough.
Yes.
For the form to register a combat droid as a support droid, and not just combat support. That is one of the checkboxes on this form. There's also emotional support, physical support, building support,
advanced air support.
Yes, and medical support.
Mexa, pull up those things. You've got the things, right? The Sith tries to focus on them, but after a little bit, their eyes just sort of glaze and they rub their head. And, Mexa, pull up the. Yes, Master.
I beam over the correct forms, or however things get transferred in
the droid actually produces its own in holoform paperwork of it is registered as a physical support droid and a medical support droid, and the claims thereof are those that would be applied to one of a normal bipedal droid type instead of a tripod combat droid.
Oh, well, there's the discrepancy. Well, Rand cracks his knuckles. I think we can clear this up. We just need to file this form. And because we are from logistics, I do believe we can expedite this. I just need to fill out a few other forms. But that's a me problem, not a you problem.
Maxig, tell the nice logistics people you missed your accounting by 1.
Yes, I need help.
You can
I need
expedite
an
it, but it will
adult.
take longer. You need an adult. You need an adultier adult. You're
Why
sure
did they
these
trust
forms
me
were
with
introduced
paperwork?
somewhere?
Why
Because you
did they
made one
trust-
by 5.
Why did they trust someone in the sphere of logistics with paperwork? Didn't they know better?
It's part of the things that were drummed into you. It's just that you've been trying to forget bits of it.
It's because I've used up all of my spoons on trying to be sociable.
Clearly. Also, you made that one by 5. You are in logistics. Missed by 1 is not going to mean you can't find it. It means it's going to take you longer to find it than you like.
The me problem is
You
more
thought
of a
it was
problem
in...
for me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ravaxa Shadow Cleaver slumps in her chair a bit and mutters, "Oh, of course they can fix yours. But with my luck, mine's unfixable."
Isn't hers on
Which
file?
one is Ravaxa?
Ravax is the one in the wheelchair with a astromech apparently in the pilot seat of the hover wheelchair.
Okay.
She has a scar across one eye and, well, not one eye, but just below it, and looks very tired and has not been doing anything except sitting there with something resembling dignity.
Well, how were you injured, dear?
It was during the occupation of Coruscant. There was some kind of neural grenade that the Republic scum threw at me.
Ah, I see.
I've been undergoing rehab. Obviously, that's where you found us. The rehab building, where they put people who need. And Tuxa has failed in accounting by 1, made a professional skill logistics bureaucracy by 8. And Tuxa, what do you desire to do?
All right, I'm having no luck with these forms. Sometimes even our own bureaucracy stymies us.
What mistakes got made?
I'm trying to find it. Ran, do you have her forms?
Let me check. Are there forms?
Made by 6. No, there are no forms. There are no forms whatsoever.
I can't find any record that anything's been filed. The
how
name
about
is spelled right here, correct?
Yes.
So it's not that.
How about income statements? Space W-2, space 1099s?
Doesn't the sphere take care of that when you've been wounded such that you've been in bed for 6
making sure
months
that-
after?
Oh yes,
I can't find
provided
them.
you
I'm
fill
making
out
sure
the
they're
right
on
form.
file.
If
Well,
you
I
filled out
didn't
the right
file
form.
them. The sphere's supposed to do that, aren't they?
Yes, but
Yes, the sphere is
request
supposed
a
to do
form.
that.
Well, no one did it. Obviously, that's my luck again.
Ram will sigh heavily, and then add that sigh to his total of number of times he's heard someone sigh.
You can add Antux's as well. What I mean is, in order for us to know that you haven't filed your taxes, we have to know that you had income. Otherwise,
Offense stipend.
well, that's tax-free. A stipend for a wounded soldier isn't taxable.
I wouldn't know. I've been in bed or in this chair for the past year.
Yes, I know.
And the chair is an improvement. After all, the chair can be driven. Wu drives it. The astromech goes, boop, boop,
May I make a suggestion, dear?
boop. Mm.
You might perhaps benefit from not being angry at the people who are trying to help you.
No, I'm not angry at you. I'm angry at... Waves a hand vaguely. You know, everything. Maybe if I get angry enough, I'll be able to levitate my lightsaber instead of having to use it by hand.
Ran likes these two people.
I have a feeling Sen does too.
Hmm?
I said I have a feeling Sen does too.
Yes, but Sen is pretending to be innocent.
That's fair.
Ran is aware of the current goal and is rather peopled out, so is not suggesting, well, you level up your telekinesis skill enough, the lightsaber seems to be an afterthought. If you can send something into a low orbit with your brain and the Force, Who needs a lightsaber? Re-entry will do the work for you.
Some
you have
people
time to cut through a door?
clarifying.
Put the door over there.
Clarifying, my lord. It's just the offense stipend. You don't have any, say, holdings somewhere that
I'm
might be being.
if I do, my apprentice is still benefiting from them. Had to lord the little brat.
Really?
Oh, it wasn't his fault. He's not the one who made me eat the neural grenade. I didn't eat the neural grenade. That's just what people say when they think you can't hear them because you're lying there because you don't have any nerves left to twitch, but you're still alive and you could hear things.
This person is a lord. Ran will not give a lord pointers on telekinesis other. But Ran wants to. Anyway, what should I roll to look up the apprentices to see if there's related records that we can cross-reference to take care of this problem?
Admin.
You know, I don't know why I bother asking, because accounting is 12,
Wow.
administration is 12. Oh, I know why.
And took
'cause
so
bureaucracy
made
is
a 3,
11.
rolled a 3, and got a critical
Yeah.
success on the admin.
I
Brand fails
did
admin by
not.
2. You could still do it, but it would take you a bit longer. And Tuxa, however, has made a crit success. And Tuxa, what are you doing with your crit success on admin?
Well, first of all, I'm going to do double damage, and then because there's an ally within 5 feet.
This form is murdered. Play the Final Fantasy victory music. Meanwhile,
I
Rand
would,
is
in
just-
fact,
You go.
And Tuxa?
I would, in fact, like to look up this apprentice and see just how much they've been benefiting.
You can look up the apprentice, who is, as it happens, going by Twillin Shadow Cleaver.
Okay.
Twillin is apparently about 21 years old and benefiting from the position is possibly not actually the right term so much as the paperwork is kind of a mess, but is the sort of mess that you associate with someone is trying to put out 5 fires at once and has a somewhat damp dish rag to do it with.
I was trying to figure out if they were really the put-upon apprentice, or whether they were, well, let's call a spade, taking spectacular advantage of the situation.
It looks like they have absolutely no clue what they're doing from the paperwork here, at least on paperwork level. They seem to be having the offense levy that they're responsible for getting paid. That's about the only thing they've been focused on, clearly.
So this is a failure by the apprentice.
Entirely possibly. It is also possible the apprentice thought someone else was handling it. Their lord, the doctors, somebody, anybody.
Are there holdings, and is the apprentice benefiting from them?
There are holdings in the form of a reasonably appropriate for a lord apartment, set of apartments. The apprentice appears to be working out of them, yes.
Gotcha.
Shadow Cleaver does not appear to be part of a house Shadow Cleaver or have notable holdings beyond maybe a weapons collection, which benefiting from is kind of if you went to the Shadow Cleaver apartment, you would probably find a wall that was full of fascinating weapons, Sith warblades, blaster rifles that were taken from fallen Republic soldiers, the usual
Gotcha.
offense.
All right. Well, I have good news and bad news.
Oh,
The bad news is that we do have to have a conversation with young Twillin. The good news is that you appear to have not filed your taxes because Twillin has been continuing to submit your income as if you were still fulfilling all of your duties and getting paid commensurately.
Oh, I bet it's the automated filing.
That's probably true.
It just goes
We
in.
can correct that. That's
Ah.
easy enough to do.
Amazing. My luck is not going to mean that you're going to try to take Woo. I won't let you take Woo. I need Woo.
We would never.
The astromech goes, woo!
Oh no, the astromech is a Pokemon.
May I?
It only says its name.
Not only.
May I approach?
So long as you're not going to try to stab me. If you try to stab me, then Daisha's bot will try to hit you.
Yes, I'm sure there are any number of things in this room that would murder me before I even had the chance.
You get a golden, glowing-eyed stare that does not look like, it looks like someone would like to say, don't patronize me, and doesn't feel up to it.
What? How sincere.
The droids would probably try it. All right, what do you want?
Well, you know, these things being what they are, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this.
Mhm.
Basically, I want to roll psychometry, but I don't want to make her unbelievably uncomfortable.
You could, yeah. Savoir-faire military. They are offense lords. They would know military savoir-faire. What are you trying to do, Ran?
Is there any suggestion, the player has no idea, but is there any suggestion that Rand might make that...
Ran could suggest that, and Tuxa clearly wants to go over there and probably touch something.
And Tuxa is taking off her gloves.
Yes,
and Rand would know exactly what that means.
If you wanted to access, if you wanted her to give a permission for you to mess with her finances more, then you need to get a thumbprint or a signature on a data pad that you might need to hold for her, or that would be one excuse to get closer to her, and it would in fact make it easier if you had authorization to testing.
Is there any chance that this psychometry roll could be done without subterfuge?
If Antuxa thought that it was going to be that way, Antuxa would presumably have said, may I take your hand, or whatever it is that she wants to be doing.
Yes, but also Ran has an idea of what Antuxa wants to do because the gloves are off, literally. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure Antuxa has savoir-faire military.
I think she has high society.
I don't.
Yeah. You have
high society.
Yes. And so Ran might know the socially acceptable question to ask in order to...
Which I failed anyway.
...ease this for everyone. As this is not a high society conversation.
Right.
It's conversation with people who are military lifers, pretty much.
It would depend. If Antuxa wants to do psychometry on the person, then that would probably be very difficult to do Sith or touchy. You know Sith or touchy, you're touchy. You grew up as someone expecting to go into the military, and Sith are kind of, these dangerous, touchy, powerful tigers, but they're generally on your side, but also they're still tigers.
I'm not touchy. I just snap at a moment's notice when I feel like I've been insulted. It's not the same thing.
Exactly. And now you know exactly
and
why
I'm not
Sith
raising
are the way
my
they
voice
are.
about this. Okay, maybe I am. Just a little, my lord.
Yeah. If Antuxa wants to confirm that the situation is as it is, Antuxa could touch the droid, which, depending on if the droid has been seeing the Lord, going to the fresher and whatnot, might or might not be a problem. You see the potential invasion of privacy concerns.
The chair cleans itself.
Or else the Lord is actually able to transfer to the fresher facilities with appropriate assistive devices he doesn't want anyone to see using. There is probably no way to get it to politely get a psychometry roll openly. That's what your savoir-faire is going to tell you. It's not an emergency situation. It's unless you can convince them that whatever you need to use it for is an emergency. There are a few ways that you can get close enough to psychometry without that you can do it with subterfuge. You can think of a few savoir-faire military which are mostly going to be in the present a
You
item.
are cutting out at key moments. Like I'm hearing 99% of what you're saying, and then a key word will just not be there.
I will adjust the microphone.
I tell you what.
Yep.
I failed a savoir-faire roll.
You failed it.
My lords, I know the condition of military rehabilitation can leave something to be desired. I have a little skill in healing. Would you do me the favor of allowing me to examine you non-intrusively? I guarantee it.
They exchange glances of the sort of roommates who at least they are not actually housed together because they got into a fight. That theory, you're all three very thankful that apparently not.
I mean, there could be that. We're thankful that they're not housed together because they got into a fight together. But also that means we don't get a show of them bickering with each other constantly, which would have been nice.
Well, they may bicker constantly, but they're not going to bicker in front of strangers. That would be,
There is a whole category of common phrases with checkboxes underneath them that Rand will not be accessing because they are not bickering with each other, sadly. But there was also something that was on topic that I was going to say, and I've totally forgotten it.
Well, you can think about that one. Ravaxa says, you're not secretly a biotics apprentice, right?
No.
Oh, fine. Why not? Might as well see if you do something that the other healers couldn't. Got some wild talent.
Kept me alive.
Oh, good. You can see what the neural damage looks like. Feel sure. She sort of twitches a hand, twitchily.
Psychometry is the best I can think of for, scan someone's medical condition without, if I wanted to use healing, I just use healing. But
you want to try and do forced diagnosis first,
right?
Psychometry would do that. I would let an IQ heal, actually a perception-based healing. I would allow that one to work. The healing others, but make it perception instead of will-based.
No, they're the same number. So
yes, that one
I'll
would
try
work.
psychometry.
Okay,
just because that way I don't have to do any math.
That's fair. Made it by 6. All right, you are working on basically the injury. You get flashes of when the injury happened, which was a bunch of people, Imperials around, and things were being thrown at them, and Ravaxa was parrying them expertly with her saber, and then there was one that landed basically right behind her.
There's absolutely no way she could have eaten it.
Yeah, but obviously it's what people said about, offense lord grenades, because that's what people say about offense lord. Probably aware of it. It did a extreme number on basically her dex stat. There's a lot of neural damage, and the nerves are slowly back. Maybe in a few years she'll be able to walk around with a cane.
Gotcha. Can I see any way to accelerate that process?
It would be painful, as Sith healing tends to be. It would require fatigue more than usual, and probably looking at a -5 penalty to get a lot of acceleration going.
Okay.
Double fatigue cost -5 penalty, and that might restore 1 point of dex over probably the next week or so. I'm going to write that down.
Is that like coming back every day for a week, or is it I do this and then over the next week?
You do it in probably in any and any benefit would be seen over the next week.
Okay.
If you want to keep coming back, then that would probably be helpful, but yeah, it might take less time if you kept coming back. You're a healer, you can, you have healing, you can give it a shot.
This is going to look like self-healing. It's not.
Made by 1. Very good. There is a long litany of hissed curses. Some of them are in the Sith language. Some of them are in various other languages that might be around. You get the idea.
I'm rolling Savoir for our military because it's the role I think best fits. Rand trying to recognize languages by the oaths, heresies, and profanities
Yeah.
that one picks up in the military, which is why most of the words my dad taught me that are German, I am not allowed to repeat.
There are definitely a number of unprintable ones, and some of them are from species you're not quite sure maybe she picked them up from Republic prisoners or something.
There's still probably 2 or 3 that are on my list for check off things.
Yeah, you can check off the ones that... Okay.
And
I apologize for the pain, my lord. Sorry.
I've met a healer or two. I expected. Think it's gonna work?
This will itch, but in a week or so you should have use of your hands back.
Oh, that would be good. Or at least better than I've got now. Thank you.
Of course. My parents are ancient knowledge. I have a few tricks that many healers do not.
Ah. Well, if they've got any healing stones, then maybe I can sell some of the blasters I picked up on the field. Trade for them or something. Twillen's got to be keeping those up. He's got the codes to the apartment. That's where he is, right?
Yes.
Good.
And keeping the garrison paid.
Oh, good. That's his job.
Well, it is the thing he seems to be doing.
Well, at least maybe they're not having tax problems. I thought the sphere was going to handle it. The sphere's supposed to handle everything. That's what they told me. They said, don't worry about anything but recovering my ability.
I think the issue is...
I should never have believed them.
Logistics can send someone to assist you with this, but you need to fill out a form to request that someone from logistics come and help you with this. That form...
Offense was supposed to do it.
Well, regardless of who was supposed to do it, it never reached logistics. We'd have a record of it.
Darth Malgus anyway. It's his operation. His people should have been dealing with this.
Is that someone who is on a list for logistics to visit, whether or not it's one of ours?
Darth Malgus? Darth Malgus is the person who was in charge of the occupation of Coruscant at the end of the war, which resulted in the peace treaty having rather better terms for the Empire than were expected. Since Coruscant is like, the capital Republic world, has a Senate on it, that kind of thing.
So you're suggesting that this particular Darth has plenty of other things to do that one might use the word better to describe?
Yes and no.
Oh my god.
Darth Malgus should have enough people to handle this. It's possible that it got dropped on the... But technically, this should have been handled by one of Malgus's entourage. You would actually give me an IQ roll. It's almost a current affairs. Even in a different sphere, you should know IQ or savoir-faire military, whichever is bigger. Oh, and okay, maybe by 4.
Again with the
Darth
eights.
Malgus, again with the 8, yeah. Darth
ones and a six
Malgus
again.
is one of the names that people know Outsphere, mostly because he's the mastermind who occupied the Republic capital world.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's our General MacArthur. Without saying,
Yeah.
I will return and falling off a boat.
Yeah. He's a war hero.
He kind of does that too, but
Yeah, that will. Eventually. He was the one who was responsible for a drop shuttle full of Sith crashing into the Jedi Temple on Coruscant and succeeding in taking the place.
Oh wait, is he the guy from
He's-
the cutscene?
Yes. He's that guy.
I'm doing the Leo DiCaprio pointing at the screen meme.
He's the guy from the cut. Mhm.
I am going to ask Daisha if she'd like me to examine her too.
They are they them.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I missed it when you said that.
That's all right. I didn't say it very hard. They squint at Ravaxa and then hold out their arm, not as tremblingly. It's an all-over muscle weakness issue. Psychometry. They're Daisha is lucky to be alive. Daisha is basically weakened in all physical and mental. There's probably been some brain damage in there.
Oh, that's no good.
No.
Is there anything I can do about it?
You can try at the same penalties, and you will have to pick a stat to raise. From the way she's moving, she's not that bad off with the dex, but her muscle tone is off key, shall we say. That is very off key. And while we're doing that, we've been going for a while, it's been noted, so maybe we should take a break while you decide what you want to try.
That I can't do without burning a lot of fatigue.
To raise that.
Missed it by 2.
Missed it by 2.
After adding the -5.
I will give you her stats before we take the break.
I'm sorry, dear. Yours is more systemic. I'd like to do some research and come back, if I may.
If you want, sure. There's plenty of people. All the healers are running around busy anyway sometimes when Biotics lets them out of their cages.
Exactly. Sometimes it takes specialist care.
Might as well have some visitors, eh? What do you think, Ravaxa? Oh, well, yes, I suppose. Just so long as they're nice to Woo. Woo, woo, woo.
I promise solemnly to be nice to Woo.
Ravaxa says, good, otherwise it might try to run you down and I'm in the wheelchair.
Ram will not say anything
Indeed.
about I'd like to see you try.
You don't want to make a combat astromech cranky.
It wouldn't be cranky for long, but that's besides the point.
My lords, we won't take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for your consideration, and we'll make sure these issues get dealt with.
Good. Thank you. They sort of say in some ragged chorus, and Ravaxa mutters something as you are heading out the door of, yes, good, go harass somebody else. And slumps.
They are also peopled out.
They are also
Yes.
peopled out. And we've been going for over an hour, so we should
You know what? We've been doing this for about 15 minutes. Why don't we go get some lunch?
Back time
What
for
about that-
characters. Should we
What
take a
about
break?
that? What about that space foe place?
That sounds delightful.
Space foe is making me think about foe.
PHO or FOE?
Yes, PHO,
Valid.
which is a problem because now I want that.
Oh,
So
And I'm not sure the place that has it is open at this moment, and if they were, we'd have to order real quick and get your dad to do takeout.
my problem is
It's 8. I think they close at 9, but I don't know if they're open on Sundays.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There were so many pizza parties at my school on Friday.
Mm.
The entire second floor smelled like Little Caesars.
9:30.
Oh no. Huh, they do seem to be open.
Brief pause to
I love that you had me press the button and then we started discussing getting some pho. While
Sorry.
in game, our characters are
Hendrix's
currently
fault.
having space pho.
Yeah.
I'll pause again so that you can order your Earth pho.
Good idea.
Button
Crash.
pushing. Take 2.
Alvin,
The perils of now we need foe quickly before the local place closes.
Ooh,
So you have all gotten in under the wire. Yeah, you all got in under the wire at the local foe place before it was closing up for the day and grabbed some takeout and are sitting around and you banter, decide your next stages as you eat your space foe. Imperial space foe.
pho.
so, Ran, you seem, what's the word? Peopled out.
Well,
Sen, you always seem kind of peopled out.
Aw, the kind of people we deal with.
Yes, well, granted.
I genuinely liked those 2 lords, but it was a lot. How do you explain to somebody who outranks you that you understand what they were supposed to be doing a lot more than they did?
Well, it's just that I've been thinking about that issue that Lord Zeldrin had. And it sounds like, at least in the immediate short term, it would involve quite a bit of spending time on a transport far away from people.
I'm not
And
sure
I know
we'll
we
be
have
back
this
in time
list, but,
to finish tax week.
well, we do have a mysteries Darth on our list. We could just say we were trapped in an alternate dimension for 2 weeks.
My worry is
But
that's
then we'd have
plausible.
to file reports about it.
I
And
like how Sen
investigate
and
the mysteries, Darth.
Sen and Ran both give very legitimate rebuttals to Antux's suggestion. Very different, but both equally important rebuttals. How far away is this dead end on the intergalactic superhighway?
You didn't get that information.
We actually don't have any details on it, except that it's not here.
Yes. Rand's worry is tax week is a week for a reason. And if this is out in the middle of nowhere, we might have some splaining to do when Darth Chardinac is like, so you saw all the lords and Darths that were on the list? You didn't. Why?
I think if we're going to check that out, we should check that out after we mark everybody else off.
All right. Let's go. I don't know. What's the closest one?
Which one is the closest one?
Let's see. Well, are you counting Lord Twillin in there? Or...
Should probably
The
count Lord Twillin in
defense
there.
ones probably won't want to talk about the sacking.
I mean, I, for one, am excited to go up to the stronghold of 3 lords who work in the sphere of defense and say, we're here to collect taxes from you.
They probably won't talk about the sacking, and I might get to stab someone.
Win-win.
Yes, all right, so there are benefits.
I could help you open a door. You know what they say.
The very
when
closest.
Sorry, I was going to make a joke.
No, make your joke. Make your joke.
When one Sith Lord closes a door, Rand turns a window into a door.
The closest address that you have is Darth Zygel.
Oh no.
We're going to actually have to file
Well-
paperwork about that alternate dimension, aren't we?
If we get the worst over with first, that might get us out of doing the rest. You know,
Okay,
if we
but-
get trapped in an alternate dimension.
Okay, but if this Darth has refurbished their lair to actually resemble a swamp, I can't guarantee it will remain terrestrial.
Sounds good.
Oh no, it's not the swamp. It's the cactus zone.
I compress it into a sphere.
And Toxa is doing like gestures with her hands while they're walking down the street.
Actually,
I could
This
hear
is-
them.
This is not in character, but Ram very much wants it to be. Made it by 8. I compressed the layer into a sphere. It would probably need to be made by way more than 8 to actually pull that off, because layer. And it would certainly be a contested roll.
It's a new sphere. The sphere of cactus. And you, my dear, will be its first Darth.
Your dark magics have gone too far. Too far, I say.
My dark magics. You're the one who used your hand wavy thing.
I stared into the abyss, and a cactus stared back at me.
And it went poink, poink. And Tooksa
Usually
knocks on the door.
abysses get mushrooms.
And Tooksa knocks on the door or rings the doorbell or whatever.
I guess there might be
yes.
mushroom cacti.
You have gotten down to the very ground floor currently. You have gone down an alleyway that actually had a street number, which is certainly something. You
That's
have
what up on other alleyways we've been in recently.
Indeed. And you have found the
Actually,
door.
it's 271 up.
The scruffy. The cleaning droids really need to get through this place more often. Something has not been. You ring. You press the door buzzer.
Who's scruffy looking?
The alley.
We're going down a dark, scruffy alley to see a mystery Darth.
Release the mouse droids.
You actually discover as the door slides open that this appears to be a apartment building. You enter. There's a carpet. That's about all you can say. I mean, it's a carpet. It exists. It doesn't have too many down to the metal plating or mysterious stains and it really doesn't smell that bad in here. The fire extinguishers are probably still working if someone tried to set fire to them, or well, that sensor looks like it might have been a bit melted. Have a lightning bit in. It's fine. You're sure. It's fine. Everything's fine here. All fine here. And oh look, there's the number door. What are you telekinesis othering, Ran?
Well, I made my roll by 11 to take all the dirt and grime that's in here and move it to the alleyway with the rest of the dirt and grime.
Even making it by 11 only makes a small dent in all of the surface that was on the place. The rest of the carpet, you're not entirely sure if you can get the mud out without just ripping up the whole carpet.
I mean, that's fair and valid. It's what the player expected what would happen, but Rand still makes the attempt. If nothing else, Rand wants to not hear that squishy sound under his feet anymore.
There is that.
And failing telekinesis to not have a squishy sound. Crit success.
You are
I'm
extremely
floating
light
again.
on your feet. You are floating in. You are, in fact, managing to only barely, with each step, touch the ground, and your hang time is a thing of beauty for not touching down again.
And Tuxa.
It's just a terrible apartment.
And Tuxa glides when she walks. So does Ran, for a different reason.
There's another door.
I've seen worse.
Ellie, did you have something? I thought I heard.
No, I just heard my name and I was responding.
Oh, okay. There's a door. The door has the address that matches up with the name there, Darth Sigil. A Darth in a place like this is certainly a fascinating thing. Usually when someone's Darth, they get a fancy...
You cut out on the word apartment. I'm assuming you said apartment.
Usually when someone is a Darth, they have a fancy office somewhere. Not a very dubious... Well...
I'm looking up the tax records we have to try to speed run this as much as we can. What is the major What is the major malfunction of the mystery's malefactor?
What Our taxes, anyway, and why should mysteries file them? The budget of the Sphere of Mysteries is a black box that no one gets to know much about where it goes, and apparently this Darth believes that should extend to the concept of taxes.
Great.
Rand prepares to check off the box underneath, "Don't you know who I am?"
I mean, there's always a possibility she just forgot.
I think their point is that we don't know who they are and shouldn't know who they are, and they're mad that we know who they are.
That makes Rand even happier that we know who they are. Rand looks up more information about them.
There are mysteries, Darth. That's basically, there's the name, they're allegedly a Darth, and this is the address you have for them. I assume you've knocked on the door, or just sort of looking it all up before.
And Tuxa already rang the buzzer, yes.
Oh, but that let you into the apartment building. Going to ring the next one? Okay.
That or someone lets me open the door.
And Tuxa got a force sense. And Tuxa, you get the feeling that someone is sensing back at you, maybe. You have a sort of, there's someone trying to think in your direction.
Not thinking in Tuxa's direction. Don't they know who she is?
The door, after a bit, slides open. That is not.
I was going to say, we've seen that face before.
Yes, why is that token not showing the right one? That's weird as Criff. Oh.
Identical twins. One went into the sphere of offense and the other one went into mysteries.
No, I just named the...
They had a fight and we don't know why.
They shouldn't do the same. Okay, one moment while I look at token endurance, because I made this token, darn it.
Fighting with Foundry for today?
Fighting with Foundry for today, yes. Okay, I want to page you. Draw or the Criff. That's extremely okay. Fine, I will.
Do you know who I am? Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We have a man at the customer service desk who does not know who he is. If you can assist in identifying him, please come to the customer service desk at your earliest convenience.
No, I want full opacity. Thank you.
Please, somebody say that to a Sith Lord.
There. And admittedly, this is one of the same slightly generic icons.
They appear
the person
to be
on the other end,
almost as scruffy as the apartment.
Almost. Long, dark, reddish, brownish, blackish hair that has not been brushed in at least the last week. A pureblood, a Sith pureblood, all red, glowing yellow eyes, wearing a red. You think these are red robes? They're at least originally red. They're you're not sure they've been washed in the past week, and someone has been walking around outside. Age unknown. I mean, not young, not old. Probably not old. Has probably not taken a bath in the last week. Years at you lot.
I will not clean them off with telekinesis other. I will not clean them with telekinesis other. I will not.
You will not know.
I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me.
Hello, my lord. We're from logistics. May we come in?
Why is logistics here?
It's tax week, my lord.
So
we need to clear up a few things regarding your taxes, my lord.
What?
Mostly they exist.
Taxes are for lesser spheres.
Ram bites his tongue to prevent him from saying, "That's why you have to pay them, yes."
I understand how you feel about this, my lord, but the Imperial Tax Code disagrees.
I am a Darth in the sphere of mysteries. Our budget is sacrosanct.
Your budget, which is paid for with the taxes that you need to pay.
I'm just cutting out the middleman, then, aren't I? My budget is between myself and the sphere. I use the credits I am given to obtain artifacts that other people should not have, so they may be properly stored. Good day.
Well, I vote.
Oh,
No, I vote in your favor. I think you're absolutely correct. Your budget is your business.
good.
Now, since the sphere's budget is dependent upon income and expenses and the taxes paid, well, I suppose the counselor in charge of your sphere is going to wonder why their budget goes down next year. But
That is between counselors. It's not
yes,
our
of course.
concern.
Yes, but when the counselor is made aware of why the budget went down, because we don't have a report of your income or your expenditures or your taxes paid, well, no, I'm sure your counselor, being the counselor in charge of the Sphere of Mysteries, is a gracious and understanding person.
Of course.
Of course. And they'll definitely not take it out on you. Anyway, sorry for taking up your time. We'll be going. Have fun not paying your taxes.
Good day.
I've rolled Area Knowledge Empire Live There. I appreciate that you wrote Empire Live There.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I made it by 2. Is the person in charge of the Sphere of Mysteries a gracious and understanding individual?
They're a Darth who has clawed their way to the absolute pinnacle of what normal people can aspire to in terms of power in the Empire. What do you think?
They did so with grace and understanding, right?
This is the Anakin and Padme meme, where there's the dead silence.
I wasn't saying that, but I was thinking it hard.
That's why I said it.
So there was lots of sarcasm, and Rand wasn't the only one who needed a roll to pick that up on the sarcasm. However, the other person involved failed the roll.
Either that or the...
So I think we should report to Darth Chardonnay that they refused to talk to us and resolve things peacefully, and either someone equipped to handle a Darth is going to need to talk to them, or we need to find out if I can fight a Darth.
I'm not sure that this Darth has a budget.
Failed to pay or cooperate with logistics. CC, what is that name again?
The counselor?
Yes.
I think it's Rictus. It's Darth Rictus right now.
My lord, Dark Council member Darth Rictus. Well, it's been a pleasure seeing you. Have a nice day.
Good day, apprentices and whatever.
Oh, I thought we left already. Okay, scratch whatever I was saying then.
Sorry.
She already said good day and slammed the door in our face, I thought.
Yes, I thought you might be talking. I think you were talking to the closed door now.
I think I was talking to the closed
I was
door,
talking to the rest of the party, saying what we should do.
You could say good day to the closed door. From behind the closed door, you hear a loud good day, apprentices.
I was going to say, if I were Mysteries Darth, I would have cameras and microphones outside my door. In fact, it would be one of those comedy scenes where like all the cameras come down and one of them has like an eyeball that pokes out.
If I was a Darth of any sphere, I think I would not live in an alleyway that could be described as scruffy.
I'm going to Rand, give me another area knowledge, and I will give Oren took so you can also there's a crit success.
That's 3 ones. I know everything about this situation that you are about to info dump on us.
The Sphere of Mysteries is notorious for being mysterious. They have a black budget, and I believe you've seen the flowchart map relationship map that EO has made a while ago, which has a certain amount of why is your budget like this? Is a logistics opinion about mysteries. Mysteries and ancient knowledge have as peers a extremely high feud where they will in fact get into squabbles, and if no one is looking, they may try to knife each other. They at the very least try to steal each other's stuff because ancient knowledge goes, this belongs in your sim, and mystery goes, no, it belongs in a crypt where no one will ever find it again, except maybe me. The counselor for mysteries before this, who vanished during the war with the Republic, had a theory that also mysteries should be mysterious assassin. So there's a lot of mysteries people running around who are actually, well, assassins. They go and kill people and are very good at it and that sort of thing. So there's that. That's always fun. Mysteries is responsible for or gets their fingers into a lot of weird cults in the Empire, outside the Empire, wherever, in your neighborhood. Some of these
Beautiful
are
day there.
Yes, it's a very beautiful day for a cult in the neighborhood. And also mysteries is kind of mysterious about their power structure. There's the public cell. The public cell is very much the public cell. It's where you find people who actually say they're part of mysteries and have IDs that say they're part of mysteries, and you can generally find them. Everyone else, mysteries is believed to be able to have gotten illicit ID chips so that they read as members of some other sphere, or if they do read as members of mysteries, that may not be their only mysteries ID chip. Darth is not. It may be what's on her record, but there is absolutely zero proof that she's a Darth in the power structure, or that she isn't. This might be her hideout, and someone, Darth Chardonnay is saying, "Hi, I gotcha. I know where you live, or I know where your hideout is. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. Mysteries is mysterious and full of cults, and trying to figure out their organization looks like the red string meme, only worse.
Well, perhaps Mysteries works in mysterious ways and doesn't really have a lot of respect for their dogs. I suppose it could be happening.
And there's always a possibility that she's just an apprentice who is holding down the fort some other Darth, It's unclear.
If this is a Darth's fort, I regrettably have some sympathy for them. They've fallen on hard times.
It's possible. Well, I'll just sort of cross them out. I assume that you actually are going leave the apartment and not break in and attempt to discover if
I believe... Actually, no, this is a good question. What's in our sphere, with our current ranking, I want to use the word logistics, but I'm not sure that's the right word. I just want to say it because it's the sphere we're in. What's the process for escalation? If we're on a mission on a swamp world or a desert world, the escalation is kind of left up to us as to how far we go, but we're on the capital.
The escalation is still left up to you, but you do have the option of saying, we made initial contact and the person who on paper outranks us said go away and slam the door in your face, which may get your boss saying, well, go back and deal with that, or may get the boss saying, okay, fine, I'll send a lord next time.
Look, if Darth Chardonnay wants us to deal with that, I am perfectly happy to deal with that, but I'm not dealing with that without permission to deal with that.
Ran is trying very hard to not make verbal comments while within range of their microphones, but they keep saying their budget is a black box. Apparently the box is empty.
Sen does not care if the Darth is listening in. The Darth is no longer immediately present, and therefore...
Well, Rand doesn't want to punch down on somebody in this particular case. Because Rand is not 100% certain that they're a Darth. A Darth exudes some degree of sophistication. If there was a culture war between that Darth and Intuxa, it would be over so quickly that a Geneva Convention would be looking over what happened.
Yeah, but like mysteries.
Ooh, look at me. I live in a dark alley. So mysterious. Why haven't I shaved in a week? It's because I don't grow facial hair. That's besides the point.
Like...
I can understand. One, I'm sorry, Sen.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I can understand wanting to keep your secrets, but there's no call to be rude about it.
Which is why Rand was not saying any of those things out loud. Also, Intuxa does such a better job of it.
Especially when you're talking to, essentially, a customer service representative. We want to make sure you keep getting your money. And if you don't want any more money, that's fine with us. More for everybody else.
Are you saying
Some
that to
people
closed door?
just see...
No, I'm saying this. We were walking away.
Okay.
Oh yes, you're walking away. All right.
I assume
can now
that's what the
speak more
conversation
freely.
was until you started asking the questions at the end, and then I was not sure. And apparently neither was Beth, because as I was saying it, Beth was typing.
Yeah.
You're saying this pointedly at the door, huh? Or
No, it's a
possibly
rhetorical
lightly over your
question.
shoulder.
This is Antux's version of venting.
Ah.
There are some individuals who, when they discover that there is a problem, seek to resolve it. There are others who, unfortunately, decide, well, what if I can make it worse? In our line of work, we meet
We do
both.
keep running into those, don't we?
Yes. Blessedly, this was our first today. Not a bad
I
average
wonder
so
if
far.
he's an eldritch horror from beyond. Anyway, who's next?
I spin a dial.
Well, you've got 3 defense lords, 1 laws and justice, 1 tech, and possibly if you want to check on Ravox's apprentice, you could check on Ravox's apprentice. But since we've been playing for a while, I might want to consider breaking for, well, Earth foe.
Yes.
The recording is over 2 hours.
Oh,
now.
all right.
See? So, as you are leaving the horribly dark alley with the distinct feeling that you're being watched by something, maybe just a space pigeon, spigeons,
The space pigeon has a robotic camera embedded in its left eye.
No, they don't embed them in the space pigeon's left eye. They sort of embed them in the chest cavity, because after it's been caught by technology to be a space pigeon spy, it doesn't eat food anymore. It gets its nutrients through an IV. Things like that.
Rand just
Walking
drags
back out.
the technology Darth to the end of the list.
Tech and biotics and occasionally ancient knowledge and mysteries have interesting disputes over things like biotech, cybernetics, Sith alchemy, little things like that. And on that note, I do believe that since there's foe waiting, we should head out. So, does anyone have anything they'd like to play?
Eo's mom writes books.
And what's the URL?
Nobody knows. We gave that information to the Sphere of Mysteries, and they won't tell us.
Eo, do you know?
It's ElizabethMcCoy.com.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone knows.
The Sphere of Mysteries would like to have a
And-
word with you.
Yes, probably. And if you want to read my
The
fanfic, that's
Sphere of Mysteries, it can go criff itself.
Darth Scruffy takes offense at that.
she is kind of offensive, but not sphere of offense. And if you want to read my fanfic, that's at Archangel Beth at archiveofourown.org. So, speaking of cool stuff.
Cypher System's kind of neat.
Yeah, I suppose.
And if you want to listen to a Cypher System campaign or two, well, you can head on over to ironbsmith.com/cogwheel, because that's where we put all of our TTRPGs that I record and edit and put up there, which is...
Including this one.
Yeah, including this one. And I realized I just said that's where I put all the podcasts that I put there, which is technically correct no matter what side I'm talking about. But in that case, it's ironbsmith.com/cogwheel. However, you can also follow us on the Fediverse at is.ironbsmith.com/@cogwheel. And we have a Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming, where you can help us keep the lights on and hear all of these episodes as they get not recorded, but edited, joining other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, Liv Droman, and patron emeritus Cindy. And also, Intuxa is seething.
Meditating during the cab ride to the next strike-through person on the list. Until next time, this is Beth saying, can we maybe just call my grandfather, please? It's politics. Politics are mean. He's my grandfather. Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.